Okay, let's see.
Mm, mm, mm.
Okay, so this is from TMZ. It says Halle Bailey claims DDG attacked her and gets restraining order. She says she had enough of DDG, allegedly abusing her. She's filed a police report and now she wants court ordered protection from the father of her child. Hold on, wait. So they want me to go to the dang website to see all the details? Hold on.
Yeah, because I think that's where they got the
Oh,
pictures. Because I saw her showing like her teeth and her arm or something like
oh,
that.
okay. Well, I got to go. I got to go.
Oh,
Let's see. Here we go.
it's on the front page too.
Oh, multiple times. Okay, so this wasn't just one time.
Oh, pattern.
Okay, I see this bruise right here. Can y'all see the pictures?
Yep, I could see that. Oh my gosh, and she's fair skinned, so you definitely can see it. It looked like he just like grabbed her or something.
Um, in Doc's file Tuesday in LA, she claims things first got physical in January, I guess, of this year. So maybe not while they were together, but January
Mm.
this year. They broke up back in October, and Halle says DDG came over to pick up their son Halo, and she tried to start a combo with the rapper about a visitation schedule. Okay. Now I remember a couple months ago they were going through it and he was crashing out about visitation. As she
Mm-hmm.
was buckling Halo into the car seat, she claims DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car, bitch." Hallie
Oh.
says the baby was crying and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state, as she should be. That's
Mm-hmm.
when they allegedly started wrestling with DDG. Maybe she was trying to get the baby
Oh.
back, pulling her hair, slamming her face on his steering wheel, and chipping her tooth. Oh, wow. I see the chip. I see the
Yep.
chip. It's a little
Mhm.
small one right here.
Yep.
Uh, Hallie says she was in pain and crying, and although that stopped the fighting, she was still worried about Halo. So she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house. So it sounds like maybe they got into it. He came to
Mm-hmm.
pick the baby up. He probably got mad because she was trying to tell him, "Hey, we need an actual schedule. You can't just be popping up or just, oh, I feel like getting him today." She want to put him on a schedule. Men
Yeah.
don't like control. Men don't like not being able to have control.
Yeah.
So, that's why I've said this before. That's why they don't like being put on child support. Because if the argument is,
Mm.
I was gonna pay you anyway if you didn't put me on child support, then what's the
What's the
problem with
problem?
you? What's the problem? It's
You
the
might
same
end up
amount of
with
money.
paying less, if you get it on papers.
Yes, it's the same amount. It's the
Yeah.
same amount. If you want
Mhm.
me to take you off child support and you're gonna give me the same amount of money, you might as well just be on child support, right? That way we don't have to talk about it. It's no drama.
Yeah,
But
it just
it's
happens.
about it. Yes, but they don't like
Yeah.
the I have no say so. This money is coming out of my paycheck, and if my baby mama make me mad, it's still gonna go on her account.
Yes.
If I don't want to, it's still gonna. She's still getting paid. She's still getting
Still
paid,
giving her my money and I hate her.
and I hate her. I don't like her.
Yeah.
She won't let me have sex with her.
Hmm.
You
That's a
know,
big part of it too, right? Like when you don't make yourself available like that.
facts, facts.
Mm.
Hallie says she was in pain, crying, and although she stopped the fighting, she was still worried about Halo. Okay, so sounds like they got into a fight because maybe she wouldn't get out his car because he was upset and irritated and she didn't want the baby to go, so she stayed in the car and he beat the girl up. She wouldn't get out of his car, so he
Hmm.
beat her up. That's what that sounds like to me. Once they told her they take care of the baby, she left hysterical and with bruises on her arms to go along with her chipped tooth. She attached photos to her alleged injuries in her request for a restraining order. She also alleges DDG creeped her out in March when he showed up at her home, entered without permission, want control. Y'all remember when he was going off? Went to her bedroom and texted a pic of Hallie's empty bed to her, along with the text, "Now I know what you been on." So he, what?
See, okay, DDG. Now you don't went too far. That's scary. That's kind of
Weird.
like creepy to me.
Hallie
That's creepy
says
as
she
hell.
interpreted the text as DDG accusing her of having sex with other people. They broke up all the way in October. Who cares who that lady
But
goosing?
that's what he definitely was trying to say. Like, oh, why you ain't home? Like, why is your bed empty? You supposed to be curled up in a ball. Where you at?
Right. Thank you, Jamal. Yeah. Like this is crazy. Okay, so what's your opinion on this?
You know, I'm disappointed because you know how like most of the time when we talk about DDG and Hallie, like most people be hard on him. You know what I'm saying? And like I was kind of always trying to shoot him bail and like, you know, he seems like a nice young man. You know, he's making his money, like he's doing his thing, and like, you know, he's just being with her. You know, so I used to just, oh my god, I feel so crazy now doing that. But seeing this, I'm like, it makes sense because the little crash outs he was having, right? About like, I haven't seen my son. I want to see my son, and all these, you know, going on his stream and everything. It's like, this is what she's been dealing with in private. And then he finally started taking it to the internet. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's sad because their baby is just barely 1 year old. He's one, you know?
This is
They
the
got a lot of co
situation
parenting to do.
a lot. This is a situation where he needs to get around some people that love him
Yeah.
to talk to him
Yeah.
and tell him to calm down, to
Yeah.
chill out. And he needs to have boundaries. So what I would suggest
Mm.
that she do, they have apps. I wouldn't talk to him outside of the app.
Mm.
They have co-parenting apps. This is what you got to do as a woman. She
Yeah.
doing the right thing by going and filing this restraining order.
Yes, she is.
As a woman, you got to let these men know that you will put the police in their life.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
And I'm
protect you.
saying it. Yes, and I'm saying this like I can't say too. I be trying to tell my business too much of my stuff, but like this, I'll say this possibly could get better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility, but like he has to know that I'm not. She's not being quiet about anything anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm putting paperwork on your behind every time you act a fool.
Yeah.
So shit, there's parenting apps. April and Omarion were on it.
Mm.
This is how I learned about it. Where Omarion wouldn't talk to April outside of this app. So they have apps that are like I think it's called Parents Talk, where everything written through that app is admissible in court.
Mm.
So
Okay.
already before he even texts you about anything, he know keep it cute. If it ain't nothing about the kid,
Yeah.
we don't need to talk. She can have him blocked from the phone number. They
Yeah.
can have a meetup spot to pick up Halo, get him on visitation. She can because of this, she can request that they meet at a police station inside the whatever she want to do inside the police station. She can even request that third parties
Mm.
transfer the child.
Yeah.
That's how she gonna have to handle him. Real professional, real. I put
Real
that white man
distant.
in your life.
Yeah.
Real distant, and she gonna have to do that and be consistent and not let him get in her ear about nothing. She gonna have to do it. What it is he's not used to her setting boundaries, so he's crashing out. This is actually not as abnormal as you would think it is.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, it seems like this happens a lot with especially young parents, right? They're both in their 20s. You know, and you were a young parent in your 20s, so you know, right? Like you said, like you already know that's how it goes. And it seems like the men, they do get a little possessiveness about you. You know, you have their child, especially if it's their first
Yes,
child.
yes, I was in a relationship, and that's why I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
already know what it is. Libra. I was in a relationship. My first long term relationship and the only relationship I was just super retarded in. Um, After I had my baby, we broke up. Y'all know how that go. As a woman, whatever you were dealing with, it was certain things that I just never willingly dealt with, but I dealt with enough. I should have left a
Hmm.
long time ago. Really, by year 3, I was done with the relationship. Mentally,
Hmm.
I checked out. But it took me actually, we made it to 5 years, and it took me actually having my daughter.
Hmm.
When once you had a kid, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If that dude If
Mm.
the relationship what it wasn't what it was supposed to be, you're out of there. You're out of
It's
there.
done.
Especially
Mm.
as you grow. Yes. And crazy thing is, he didn't even take the breakup serious. I got my stuff. I moved to a whole nother city while he was
Mm.
out of town. And we have been broke up for a year. He did not believe the breakup until a year later. We was broke up for a
What?
year. Never told him we was getting
How?
back together. No, he didn't.
He thought
Girl, he
y'all
didn't
was on
believe
a
the breakup.
break.
Girl, I don't know what the hell he thought. He didn't believe the breakup until I got a new man and popped out with my new man.
Oh my God.
And then it was
Listen,
like acting out, acting crazy,
gonna be like Offset and Cardi, child, huh? Because that's how it be. They don't believe you till you pop out.
doing them all until you popped out. And for me, but I just was so
Yeah.
confused because I'm like, sir, we ain't been together in it a year. We ain't did nothing in a year. I done seen you like
Right.
we done got it. Now he would act out in between them, but it would always be situations kind of like this with trying to control the situation with the it would
With
be
your
and I don't
child.
even want to put his business out there like that to where the
Yeah.
stuff he just used to do too much, right?
Hmm.
Now that happened when I want to say I was 23 and all that drama began when I was 23 and he was 26. Now I'm 31, he's 34. Things are much more calm now. We barely speak, we barely talk. It's calm. I'm not worried about what he's doing. If he asks me anything that's too much in my business, I'll let him know that's not your business. Just like that.
And I'm
It's
sure he
very
knows.
professional over here.
You got
It's
bag back. You know what I'm saying?
and he know he get it. He know I'm not playing with him. But I all
Yeah.
the steps that I'm telling her to take, I did these things myself. And over time they realized, oh, she not want to play with.
Yeah.
Everything you are saying is 100% spot on, Mariah. I've been working in family law for 24
Mm.
years. However, the one thing I've learned is there is three sides to every story: his, hers, and the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean that's true. In a lot of these situations, you kind of gotta like use discernment and take it on a case by case scenario. I must say my discernment tells me that Hallie ain't lying. And the reason why I say that is because we've kind of seen him do some things. For example, when he made them songs, basically talking about he was jealous of Hallie,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I heard some
all the
stuff.
crashing out he been doing over the internet about her, all of this whining because he can't stay at her house, all this foolishness.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm more likely to believe that the truth is more on her side. You feel me?
Yeah, and I think that comes from right our experiences just as women, and especially it's like it's weird where a man will get to a point where he treats you like he don't want you anymore, and when you're like, all right, bet I believe you, you don't want
Facts.
me,
Well, do
so
you
I'm
any
gonna
kind of
move
way?
on. You know what I'm saying? Like then they're like, well, how dare you move on? Like you don't want me. Like you've made it plain. You don't want me. You're not feeling me no more. You're doing your thing. You're disrespecting me. So I'm just gonna move on. Why is this a problem now? Like I've dealt with that before too, where it's like the pop-ups out of nowhere, the weird stalking and weird messages and stuff. I've dealt with that, and it's odd. I mean, luckily I didn't have
Girl,
that kind of abuse or anything like that. But
girl, it's so weird. I mean, I've even had a man break up with me, and like, it took me 8 months to just get over it. But it's
mm,
like, as soon as he realized I was over it was like, now all of a sudden, you popping up at my job every other night. Used to when we was together, you never came to my job.
mm,
Now
mm-hmm.
you at my job. You want to be in my face. You want to go do this. You want to go do that. But when we was in a relationship, I treated you the best, like the
Right. I
best.
would have did anything for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you said, or not even talk to other people, regardless of their status in society or the money, whatever.
that was during that relationship. And like when I tell you that breakup hard in my heart so much,
Yeah.
That breakup made me to where, well, first of all, let me say the relationship was great.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I didn't know it was on the rocks, but in my opinion, it was good because it was kind of like this thing where he used to DJ, I used to work at the club, but we didn't work
Hmm.
together. But it was
Hmm.
like before he met me, he had his life. He would go out with his friends. He would do his DJ thing. And me, I was more the calm person. I would go to work and come home. But still, we both had to have a certain amount of trust for the relationship to work.
Yeah.
And we did, and it was cool. And he was a Sag, I'm a Gemini. We
Uh,
used to have fun. You put a Sag and Gemini together, we gonna hang. We gonna kick it.
Yeah.
But we also would let each other have our own lives.
Mm. Hmm.
So you would have never told me or anybody, and nobody around was like, "Oh, I seen that breakup coming." Everybody was blindsided. But how he treated me after that breakup, and then kind of like how it reversed, and now that I don't want you, you doing all this and that, and something, it have hardened my heart so
Yeah.
much so to where I just don't be taking nobody seriously.
Yeah. You can't. It's hard. And it's like even when you kind of start catching yourself taking someone serious, like, no, up. I see you doing some fuckboy stuff. Alrighty, never mind. I don't know what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah, like I can't take nothing seriously. I
Yeah.
don't even really just get try to give my all to no situation like that no more, cuz I'm like, okay, that's clearly not that's clearly not that ain't no guarantee that somebody
Hmm.
is going to. And my whole thing is do things cuz you want to do them, but after a certain point, once you invest it, because that is an investment, giving your all to a situation,
Yeah.
once you've invested so much and you don't get any like and something like
Return.
that happens, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like traumatic like that, you feel away, like you feel away.
You
It makes
do.
the breakup harder versus when you're like, well, I didn't really put that much into this anyway, so you can get the fuck
Yeah.
on if you want to or not. I don't care.
Exactly. But like reciprocity is the thing, right? And like we all want that. We want you to
Mm-hmm.
reciprocate the energy that I'm putting in. You know what I mean? And then it's like, damn, I did all that for you to treat me this way or for it to end this way. You do feel bitter,
No, you do. You
you know?
do. Ladies, have a successful dope
Mm.
boy ever broke your heart? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. My first
yeah,
fiance. For
yeah.
sure. Boy, he was like the first dude I was with, like he's 6 years older than me. I
Mhm,
met him when I was 17 and he was 23 or whatever. Um and so even though that's very young, 23 is young,
mhm,
but it's way older than 17 mentally and everything else or whatever. So we had it was a good relationship, but he definitely was running a lot of game on me. And he was, he's a street dude. He's still kind of like in and out of that. But yeah, he broke my heart a lot. Like, and even we're on good terms now. Like I haven't talked to him in a few months, but he
mhm,
checks in every now and then. And he has apologized several times for the way that he treated me. We were together for 8 years. And
mhm,
so he just, cause like my thing with him, girl, was like I really wanted kids. Like I had a phase of my life, I feel like, but from when I was like 14 to probably 40, where I was like, I want children, I want to be a mom, I just love kids, da, da, da. So definitely super, super, super hot on that when he and
mm,
I were together, and then when we got engaged, and I'm like 20 or whatever, I'm like, oh yes, like we're gonna start having babies. And he was so dead set against it because
mm,
he has a daughter, and he only has one child or whatever, but the situation with her mom was so, whatever, contentious, that he was like, hell no, like I don't want no more kids. I'm like, so you want me to marry you and you don't want any more kids? Like you think that I'm gonna do what she's doing or whatever? And he's like, no, I just don't trust it. He actually apologized to me for that.
mm,
Like he's apologized to me, and like I cried because I wasn't expecting it. But he's like, "You would have been such a great mom, and I'm sorry that like I wasted so many years. Because like I said, we're together 8 years, and uh, I just finally had to leave because he was a street dude, and he was very, very much so cheating as well. So I just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, no, I understand that. That's hard.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I get it. Especially like when that's really hard when you want to have kids with somebody and they
yeah.
don't want to have kids. But
Hmm.
then, girl, I mean, I ain't even gonna hold you. That was probably the best thing for you.
I think you might be right, sis, because I know how serious it is having children now. Like when I hear people like you and AP that are like real serious about being parents talk about how much work it is, and even how emotional it is, right? Like the thing AP always tries to impress upon me is like, even if you get good kids, it's painful because this world is so evil and you don't know like what they're going to run into or who they're going to run into,
Facts.
and you're always worried. Like it hurts that you love something like that. It doesn't feel good. Like it's depressing sometimes. So like
Yeah,
either
you
you get an
got your heart
asshole kid or
outside of your
yeah.
body.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, even if you don't get an asshole kid and you get the sweetest kid in the world, you're still not at peace ever. It's a
No,
hard
facts.
way to live.
Facts. Like I gotta talk to my daughter all the time because she's so sweet. Like, oh my god. And I'm not just saying this because she's my child. Like other people tell me this without me illicit. Like other people like, oh my god, she's such a light.
I can
She's so
tell.
like she's not like she's got a good, she's a little Leo, so she's super
Mhm.
affectionate, and
Yeah,
she know how she they do. She like
yeah.
her attention, but she's also sweet and she's a super duper, giver. She will give it. Like I've seen her. I gave her a cookie one time, and she saw another little kid who was hungry, and she really wanted that cookie, but she'll give it away. She'll give away her last
Mm,
share and things. So like when you have a kid like that, it's like
yeah.
I be having to explain to her like you
Mm,
cannot trust everybody,
yeah.
but she don't get it because she don't come with bad intentions.
Yeah. She
So
think
she can't
everybody like
even.
her.
And I yes, and I'm
Yeah.
already seeing, girl. I'm like, oh my god, I'm already. She not gonna understand. She gonna have to go through some things, and that's hard as a parent. It's hard.
Hmm. Yeah.
I had my heart broken by a successful. No, well, let me say this, cause see, some of y'all be like, see that why? Cause y'all be dating them the hood nigga. Da, da, da. No, I don't like drug. There had been before him and after him, there had been other dudes that was in the streets that were trying to had tried to date me,
Mm,
and I never went for it. And it
yeah.
wasn't like it's just I didn't like what come with the lifestyle more than anything. I like good boys.
Mm,
This situation was a little different because when I met him, I didn't know that that's what he did, and also he didn't live that lifestyle. So he wasn't the type to be in a club, popping
mm,
bottles, spending his money, being like he just liked to make his money and stay in the house. That's it. He wasn't.
yeah.
He didn't like social media like that. He was real. You could tell he was raised by real old school type of dudes.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Not just that, he knew like he was the type who he knew how to fix cars and stuff. His dad owned a paint shop. So it's like he came from a
Oh, a
family with
guy's
good
guy.
a guy's guy. Yeah, he
Mm,
knew how to paint cars. And so it's like he came from a family with good values. It was just a situation where, well, he was from the islands too. So on the islands, it's rough. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
survival. It's struggle. They out there having to get it how they live. It's so many, y'all. It be so many unalivings. So many
Mm,
people that I know that he knows. Like within this last year, they posted an RIP. So it's like
yeah.
they're over there. You got to work. You got to hustle for resources. I
Mm,
think that kind of just kind of affected. I don't think he knew how to take me.
damn.
I don't think he knew how to take me. I think
Yeah.
I was just much more fun and lighthearted and happy go lucky to him. And he was such more like he was a Leo too. And
Yeah.
it's like when he was being sweet and affectionate, it was great. But it's like I think I made him uncomfortable because
Mm,
a part of him just wanted to be miserable
yeah.
and stuck in that struggle mentality.
Like,
I feel like it was like, dang, I'm not trying to be around her feeling soft and this and that. Like,
right.
hell no.
Right.
And I get
And
it,
he know how to take you. Like, yeah, I get that. A lot of guys do. I feel like they do rebel, right? Like when they do start to feel, I don't want to say like tender, but you know what I'm saying? Like when they start to feel like they can let their guard down and be open about certain things, how they feel or whatever, they like shut it down real quick, and they like put that wall up so hard, and it's like, why are you hurting me? And I'm here for you, like why are you treating me like crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I think he couldn't handle was the fact that I was sweet and nice, but it's like I had boundaries. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? So
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I like you a lot, but it's a no. I'm gonna say no or this and that. So it's like I'm gonna kick you and laugh and be sweet and it, but certain stuff like nah, I'm not. Nah, it's a no. And like I was talking because we have a mutual friend. We were talking a few months ago, and he was saying like, yeah, I was surprised when I saw y'all together because he usually don't get with girls like you. And I
Oh.
was like, well, what you mean? He was like, he always get with something that got some low self esteem. I don't know
Mm,
what he meant by that, but that's what he said. He said he usually go for women with low self esteem. So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It was kind of like a situation. I don't think he knew how to handle me
Yeah,
at
you're
all.
assertive. You're an assertive person. Like I observed that about you, right? Like you're not afraid to say no, I don't like that, or no, I don't agree with that, and I don't need to be in the majority. I don't care. This is how I think. This is how I feel. This is why. And some people are so used to people like trying to like, fake it and just be go along to get along. And you're not like that. And that probably was
Mm-hmm.
like, whoa, what is this? She's not trying to please me all the time.
No, he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it at all. You
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
But I mean, it is what it is. I don't like.
Yeah.
I'll say it probably would have been at least on his end. I think after a while, when you be with somebody that's a little bit toxic, even though you trying to be the positive one,
Yeah.
eventually you get toxic. Like eventually, like you start saying things you might not necessarily mean to say, but it's like they always want to be so toxic. But what I
Hmm.
will say is this: he was younger than me, so that was another thing.
Mm.
I we when we met, I was 27 and he was 21.
Okay, 6 years. See the magic number.
It was a yeah, it was a 6 year difference.
Hmm.
And some people might be like, oh well, you should have known better. I mean, not really. Like 21 and
I mean, he's
27 is not
grown.
that far apart.
Yeah.
He's grown. We met in the same club on the island. Um, and not just that, he had all his stuff together. Not just that,
Mm.
when you go on the islands, you will notice people kind of just grow up faster, so their conversation be different.
Mm. Yeah.
A 21-year-old in the Virgin Islands is not talking about the same stuff a 21-year-old in the United States is talking about.
Yeah. So it's a difference. So it's like literally y'all were probably really on the same level, pretty close anyway, if not on
I
the
think
same
we
level.
were
No.
I think it's certain things in terms of life events. Yes, we were on the same level. Like he had a daughter from a previous relationship. He had his first kid at
Mm.
17. That's what I'm saying. He had
Hmm.
already went through some steps. Like he
Yeah.
grew up fast. The boy was driving cars at 11 years old. Like they grow up different over
Oh my
there.
gosh.
They start drinking with their dads that young.
Mm.
So but in terms of emotional maturity and learning conflict resolution,
Yeah.
I was way ahead of him.
Wow.
But I don't
Yeah.
think that was necessarily an age thing played a part. But even I was talking to my other friend who's older than
Hmm.
me in the islands, and he was just saying that's more of a cultural thing because he was saying I even had to go to therapy
Hmm.
because island people, I love them. Virgin Islanders, they cool. You won't have a good time. They care about you. They really is like it's love on that island. But then
Yeah.
it's another part of they'll flip on you real quick over the littlest stuff. They
Hot
they
tempered.
they trip out. Hot temper. They get to going off. You'll walk around that island and hear them yelling and cussing and screaming at each other. So he was like, I had to go to therapy once I moved to the United States because my
Yeah.
relationships was not working out. And I had to
Mm.
realize I don't have to talk to people like that all the time.
Yeah.
But they in survival mode.
Wow.
But yeah, I say that relationship. It didn't hurt as much as like what I went through with the DJ because I was just blindsided. But I think
Mm.
that kind of broke my heart because it's cool. And you gotta understand when you date somebody and y'all have a
Hmm.
long distance relationship, every time y'all see each other, it's
It's
like
love.
it's
I
love.
missed
You feel
you.
me? Yeah. And then not just that. Imagine you go to an something to see
Oh,
somebody.
paradise. Like I'm coming to paradise with Bay. Like this is a real vacation, you know?
Yes, and they showing you things you ain't never seen or putting you on to some things.
Yeah.
It's still some things I got from that relationship that like
Yeah.
I learned. That's one relationship where I can say I learned some things or I was introduced to some new things, right?
Yeah.
Or even just my way of thinking changed. So yeah, that hurt me.
Mm. See, HM3, you got us opening up, brother.
I know, right? They in our business for real.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see what Jay Wright said?
What he say? Let me see. Hold on. Sometimes my comment section does not update. What he say, girl?
He said, what I've seen over the years is most young men make negative emotional decisions because they don't have an older male in their life to mentor them through being a young co-parent.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hmm.
But like, what if it's a situation where the daddy is toxic? Okay, like,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
they're
What if
gonna
it's
give you bad advice.
they're gonna give you bad advice, or they, for example, with the island dude I'm telling you about, his daddy can't tell him, "Oh, you need to control your emotions," and what? Let me tell y'all, this how throw it off his daddy is.
Mm,
Y'all, the baby mama when they used to live on the island,
mm,
the baby's his baby mother's mom, so the other grandparent came to his father to get the car fixed. So you got two of the grandparents getting into it, right? Because
mm.
she didn't like what he did to her car or something. He's
Yeah.
saying he fixed it right. She's saying he didn't fix it right. Why he gonna yell out in front of everybody? You just mad because my son fucked your daughter.
Oh, what? No.
Go.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah. How you like? So how you gonna mentor your son about how to deal with their emotions when you pop off?
Now that's crazy. But I think that's crazy. But I know some dudes definitely do learn from their youth, right? Like, okay, when they're in their 20s as compared to their 40s, right? And they're like, man, I could have did this different or that different. Or, I'm the man, so I need to kind of lead in the sense that I don't want to get emotional. She is naturally more emotional than me because she's a woman.
Mm,
I need to be the man and let her be emotional because maybe she's hormonal because of what's going on with her having the child. Even if the child's 1 or 2, like you don't really know what's going on with her. Let me not feed into those things. Let me not try to meet her at her height. Let me chill out. You know what I'm saying? I think a
mm-hmm.
lot of guys kind of do learn that over the years, especially if they have kids of different ages, right? And they're like, man, when I was a father with this one, I was this way, but when I was a father with my 6-year-old, it's so different now because
Yeah.
it's a different situation, you know.
I think they learn. I think the men learn through. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, I think it's a couple of factors because a young man's brain ain't even all the way fully developed until 25. And then they're saying that
Mm,
it might be as late as 27, right? And that's
mm,
why I say when people
yeah.
say once a cheater, always a cheater, I don't necessarily believe that. It depends.
Yeah.
How young were you when you're cheating? Because, I mean, it's expected that a man with high testosterone, you're
Yeah.
impulsive, it's expected that at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, up until 25, that you're cheating, right? Or you've at least, most men have at least cheated one time, right? And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times it goes back to their younger years. So I expect men to
Right.
be impulsive at that age. I expect them not to be able to control their emotions. This is what I know about men now. See, then I didn't
Mm,
understand.
yeah.
With that said, I feel like as a woman, though, like we need to know and understand these things, but we don't need to be through them while they're trying to mature. Because a part of the maturity is them
Mm,
having to lose,
yes.
them having to not get their way in behind a lack of emotional control. And that's why I always say, even if you stay with a man, let's say you get with a man when he's in his 20s, he cheats with you all
Mm,
throughout his 20s and 30s, and by 40, he decides he wants to start settling down.
mm-hmm.
He's never gonna respect you. Never,
No.
never, never. He might, and the only reason why he's trying to settle down is a lot of times, and men have told me this. They're just
Mm.
thinking ahead. They're like, I know I'm gonna want somebody to take care of me when I get
When
older.
I'm older, girl, literally, that is exactly right. So it's like I'm just using you to be my comfort and my nursemaid to make sure I'm good and I'm not, falling on the floor and ain't nobody at the house to help
Yeah,
me
that's
out.
it. Yes, but they low key be disgusted with everything you put up with. They don't see that and be like, "Oh, that's so admirable." They might
Mhm.
be thankful that you stayed because it benefits them, but they don't respect you. And that's why I say
Yeah.
a man has to really, if you really like a man, but he ain't acting right, it's
Mhm.
best to leave. And if it's and
Yeah.
not just leave fake, leave
Yeah.
for like a couple months or a year. I mean, leave for real. It takes years for transformation and growth to happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's how long you gonna have to. And then when they come back, this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, Binky. You
Mhm.
can't look at just how a man treats you
Mm.
to determine whether or not y'all are going to get back together. You have to look at how he treats everyone in his life. Has that
Yeah.
changed? How do you treat people that you don't want nothing from? What are your daily patterns like? Have you developed discipline in XYZ area? Like, because if you don't have discipline in these areas, I can't expect you to have discipline enough not to cheat. So it's like
Mhm.
the things you look for to determine whether or not a man has truly changed have to have nothing to do with you.
Yes. Oh my God, that advice is that's smart. It's like you got to be observant. Pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to the patterns, like you said. Like they're what that saying when people show you who they are, believe them is cliche, but it's for real. People will show
Facts.
you who they are. Believe them. Like don't try to talk yourself into, or they really meant this, or they meant that, or they really no. They showed you who they are. Believe them.
Facts. Facts.
you know. Like just and act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So you right
Mm-hmm.
about that. And the more you do that and the better you get at observing what people are and how they are and how they act, the better you're gonna be in the long run.
Yeah, and it helps you get out of your ego because then it's
Yes.
not about you anymore, right? It's about
Hmm.
who they are.
Yes. Exactly.
Yep. Okay, girl, I'm getting so tired, girl. We've been on here forever. How long we been
Almost
on?
3 hours,
Oh
girl.
my gosh, I can't believe we stayed on that long.
Listen,
Wow.
we just
Uh,
talked away.
and I gotta look. I gotta get up at 3 in the morning. I
Oh
gotta
my
work.
gosh, girl.
But it was good having you on. Girl, you should have been came on. You should have been came
I
on.
know. Like, why did it take so long, right? So
Yes.
we'll
Let
definitely do this more.
Yes, let me make sure I go. I'm a y'all. If y'all want to follow Binky, I'm gonna. Did I at you in this title
On the
to this?
video, I don't think so because it didn't send me a notification of that.
Okay, when I get off, I'm gonna make sure that I at her so that y'all can go subscribe to her channel.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna have you on again. I
Yes,
loved it. This is
girl.
fun. Yes, girl. We need a whole. And I want to get you on one time with my other girl Sheba because I think you would like her energy too. I don't
Yeah.
think were you on when did you hear
Yeah,
her?
when y'all did a show together, I was in the audience and I was feeling it. I was feeling it.
Yes, girl. So I love it.
Yes.
That's the thing when what I like about things, because when you're in this YouTube space and you already know, girl, because you're being authentically yourself. When you're being authentic, it's like a slower,
It's so slow. The growth
it's
is so
so
slow.
slow. But it's the growth is slow, but
Yeah.
the quality of the people that come on along the ride with you is
Yes.
top tier. Top
Yeah.
tier.
You build a
Can't beat it.
real community this way.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. So, I'll never rush the process. All right, girl. It's been real. Thank you so much for
No.
coming on. I can't wait to have you on again.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna get on up off of here. Love y'all. Good night.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.